my hours of operation. I went on ahead and I deleted the headline that was there. And I'm going to show you, we're going to talk about building your own patterns. Because if I put my hours of operation in place, hours, I'm going to drag that in place right down here. I'm just going to add it. Yeah, you can go on ahead and turn your Saturday on, because if you look, you've got 9 to 6 most days, so 9 to 1 on Saturday. Yeah, you can replicate it. I'm not going to worry about changing this to 6, 6, and 6. Sure, if you want to. So I've got all those 9 to 6. The Saturday's 9 to 1, and Sunday's closed. So I've got that done now. The next thing I want to do is I want to add a headline. So I've got a heading right here. I'm going to add it just between, and I'm going to say hours of operation. That's great. That's perfect. But here's the thing. If I try to drag this up here so that it's beside, by the way, you'll notice I've got a couple spacers up here already. If I take it and add it to the side here, and then I try to add this hours of operations, they're going to be a little funky to work with, as these are not going to travel together. So I want them to travel together. So let's work on that. I'm going to first select my headline. I'm going to select my hours of operations, and I'm going to use this little icon right here to group them together. Now they are an individual group that I can drag this handle and pull it right up here and push it right beside that spacer. Okay, now I've got my hours of operation in place. Okay, my text is still, quote, centered. Actually, all the content in this block is centered. And its width is currently, can be defined over here in pixels or rems. Its width again here, and we can actually do a little bit of work here. You know what? We can actually change the background. Let's change the background to black. Oops, not that. Let's change the background of this to, you know what? Let's do a light gray. And that way we've got that. So let's come back over here. Advance. Let's do position. Let's see if I can change some of the allow to wrap. You know what? I'm not going to worry as much with this. I want these. By the way, you notice this right here. These groups is that this is in a row. So things are locked side by side. If I wanted to, I could change it to this and it would take things and stack them. That's not how I want to do it. So I'm going to undo what I just did there. All right, so I now have my hours of operation. I'm going to add one more spacer. Just here. And I'm going to change that to about 20 pixels of space. And I'm going to do another one right down here. And again, that's going to be about 20 pixels of space. So I've got a comfortable little space right there. And this is where I'm going to put my contact form, because that's one thing I want to maintain about this layout. So I've got my business hours. Now I'm going to change do this. I'm going to flip-flop these, put my business hours up top, and then I'm going to put my address actually down in the bottom. Okay, so you've seen how I made this right here, these two things, into a pattern. Now I'm going to borrow a pattern that already exists, and it's going to be the footer pattern. You actually see it already there. And I'm going to grab, you know what, I like this footer right here, and I'm going to add it right here. And then I'm going to close out of that and come down here to this. Look, here's a great place to put that address. Let me go grab the address from right here, copy and paste. So I've got my address. Let's go ahead and put my phone number right here. This business probably wants people to be able to call them. I'm going to copy that phone number and I'm going to paste it right there. I don't know the email address. Let's see if they have an email contact somewhere on there. They've got the phone number, their address, they've got the name of the company. It doesn't look like they have an email address. So I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to delete that. So now all we have is a phone number. Monday through Friday, we're going to say 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. And I'm going to add my Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Sunday, closed. All right, so I've got that. It's got my menu here. For now, I'm just going to go on ahead and leave this stuff here and not worry about it. I think it's a perfectly fine amount of stuff to have here. It's a good thing to start setting up with. But you notice what I did is I went in here and I searched patterns. Remember we talked about patterns? That the hours of operation title and the actual hours of operation, that we created our own pattern. Well, we created our own group. Now I want to talk to you about how to turn this item into a pattern. Okay, so I'm going to grab this group and I'm going to create pattern. By doing this, I'm going to call this my hours with headline. We're not going to give it a category. We're just going to call it, you know what, let's go ahead and categorize it as about and hit add. So now if I wanted to add hours of operation anywhere else and have it mimic this layout, all I have to do is come back over here, go to patterns, and now you're going to see a little thing called my patterns. And this hours of operation is now usable in the same way as if I went over here to footers and just copied this exact same footer. Now the footer I made edits to, so those edits won't be shown in this footer right here, but I made that. I used that and then was able to edit those. So patterns is another way to speed things along. All right, we got the address, we got the hours of operation. The next thing we're going to do in the next video is add this contact form. And then I'm going to hand it off to you. I'm not going to worry about replicating this map. Like I said, sometimes the map things are a little finicky. It is something that you can do. So if you feel up to it and you've got a map that you want to add in, or you've got the address and want to try to add that map in, I fully encourage you to do that. But I'd like to see the website you choose. So I want to see the parent website, the one you chose to duplicate. And then I want to see the page that you made a copy of, and then the actual copy you made. Did you improve it, or did you try to duplicate it as close to the original as possible? All right, so see you in the next video where we'll work on this contact form, and after we're done, I'll let you take over and show me the magic you were able to bring. See you in the next video.